Alright, there's one more thing I forgot to say about his durability. So, yeah, Gordon Freeman, alright, but yeah, Gordon Freeman, he can also survive, falling debris, like he can also, survive, stone blocks and steel rebar falling on top of him. Now, obviously, he can't take too much of it, falling on top of him, or he will get crushed. Because Gordon Freeman, he weighs 190 pounds, and he's 6'3". And Gordon Freeman, since he weighs 190 pounds, he should be able to lift at 2 times his own body weight like every other average grown man. So this would mean that Gordon Freeman should be able to lift at least 320 to 350 pounds at least. So yeah, this means he should at least be able to lift 350 pounds. This also means that he should be able to, you know, tank that to take, bro, what? To tank that weight, falling on top of him. But there's a difference between, being able to lift something and then being able to survive something that's heavier than what you can lift. So, I think it's safe to say that Gordon Freeman should be able to survive falling debris that weighs under 600 pounds. I feel like anything, from 600 pounds and up would crush Gordon Freeman, just because it seems like it makes the most logical sense, especially with the fact that um, the HEV suit, especially the Mark V, is real durable. So yeah. Anyway, even more proof that Gordon Freeman's durability is higher than you might think as well, because he has, dang, what was I gonna say, bro? Oh yeah, but I guess that was really it. I guess that was really the final part. Oh no, also Gordon Freeman can fall from high heights and still survive. Like he can get major fractures and still like he can still run like nothing happened. Like he can run full speed even with broken legs. I don't know how, it's just game logic. But yeah, he's able to run with broken legs without even, showing, I mean, yeah, he's probably in pain, but he's still doing it, so, yeah, that's impressive. But, but yeah, I'd say yeah, he could probably survive a fall from like from at least a small building, and uh I don't know about a skyscraper. He might be able to survive a fall from a skyscraper because when he ABHs, he can get flung into the air kind of high, but I don't think as high as a skyscraper. So I think like maybe a building the size of like a mansion or something. I think that's as much as he can survive, or maybe like a hotel or apartment. Well, hotels are usually skyscrapers. So I think like a mansion is probably the height that Gordon Freeman could definitely survive falling off of. So any building, you know, it's like 50 feet tall or something. But alright, now all his durability's out of the way, and you know all this attack potency and speed. Well, most of his speed. Let's get into all of his glitches, and you know all of his code breaking techniques. Now cheat codes don't count because cheat codes are cheats, not they're not really glitches. You know, they're intentionally they're codes that are intentionally put in the game by developers for players to find out about and use with their free will. But anyway, first off we have the grenade boost. So the grenade boost, you know, it basically allows Gordon to fling himself into the air or fling himself backwards really far just by angling a grenade, you know, at a certain angle on the ground, and then you know he pulls the pin of the grenade, but he holds you know the fuse down, and then once he has a perfect angle and the perfect timing, he throws the grenade, and then the explosion manages to blast him up into the air, or you know backwards, and even though it damages him a lot, you know speedrunners love doing this, and you know the actual Gordon he probably has done a grenade boost, you know, just he probably has done a grenade boost to get around places faster, because grenade boost is definitely a speed running tactic. But anyway, next up we have alright, next up we have the a Gauss jump. So a Gauss jump is basically where Gordon, you know, uses the towel cannon to launch himself into the air. So he charges his towel cannon up, and he either aims at the ground or at the solid surface, so he can either knock himself backwards or knock himself into the air. And when he does this, it allows him, you know, to gain you know a lot of distance and to get away from danger. And again, it is dangerous because it could cause him to take a lot of fall damage, and if he goes too high, then he could fall to his death. So Gordon has to be careful with this. But yeah, the towel jump it's definitely you know a good tactic for Gordon to use when you know nothing else to do in the middle of like a fight. But again, you can only use this in Half-Life 1 because you know you only have the towel cannon in Half-Life 1. But next up is obviously the most famous, bee hopping. So bee hopping, short for bunny hopping, and yeah, it's in the name. It's basically where you just continuously keep jumping over and over and over again, and you don't stop, you know. And bee hopping, you know, it allows Gordon to cover a lot of distance in a short amount of time, and bee hopping is faster than standard running because bee hopping increases Gordon's speed, especially the more he keeps jumping and jumping. And it's probably faster than any human on Earth in the real world. So probably somewhere like 30 miles per hour or something. And bee hopping's good, but it was surpassed by an even better and way faster speedrunning technique, and that of course is the ABH, or accelerated backwards hopping. So, the reason why it's called that is because, well, yeah, you're jumping backwards and you're accelerating, backwards. I know it doesn't make sense, but that's just game logic. But actually, a real, I mean, if you really want like a scientific explanation, I don't know. The best I could probably come up with is, um, you know, Gordon Freeman is forcing negative G's to he's forcing negative G's to propel himself backwards, and since they're pushing on the front of his body, it's causing him to go backwards and gain rapid speed and momentum. That's my guess. I mean, obviously that's not possible in real life, but in the Half-Life universe, maybe. I guess. That's, yeah, again, the most scientific explanation I got for that. But the ABH, yeah, basically, Gordon, he turns around really fast. Um, and then he does a jump, and immediately gets into a crouch, and he stays crouched. And as soon as he's about to, oh no, stays crouched, and then he starts hopping backwards, and he keeps doing this, and as soon as he's about to touch the ground, he prepares for a jump, and he keeps jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping, and then he accelerates, builds up speed and momentum, and it gets faster and faster and faster until he reaches the speed cap. Now, even though it would technically ABH does not have a speed cap on it, it obviously has to have a limit because Gordon is not moving at light speeds when it comes to travel speed. That's just not happening. But there actually are wiki statements, and I know wiki has horrible power scaling takes. But when it comes to Half-Life, I think it does make sense because Half-Life is not an overpowered verse. Like the strongest characters in Half-Life are of course Gordon, and the G-Man's probably again they scaled like building level, so it's not even that overpowered. But anyway, the ABH it just keeps increasing. So it starts off like 30 miles per hour, increases to 50, then it goes up to 80, 100, 120, 149, then the final 199. So the ABH is fast, like real fast, and it causes Gordon to move backwards really fast. And yeah, you can gain momentum. Now, Gordon hits like a rigid surface, then he can actually get flung into the air, and he can take fall damage, but as soon as he lands, he can continue jumping backwards, so he can continue to gain more momentum and just keep moving faster. So the ABH is probably his most dangerous tactic, speed tactic, but it's useful if he desperately needs it, or if like there's literally nothing else he can do. So yeah. All right. Well, yeah. That's all the scaling for Gordon Freeman, but attack potency. So it's a building level, and speed. With the ABH, it's superhuman because it's moving at 190 miles per hour, 199. And then his durability building level. But yeah.